So this is the research I researched for my design project, and I chose to do it on set design for Joe Turner's Coming Barn. So I researched a lot of sets, and I found a lot that inspired me to do certain things with my set, and I found a lot of things that inspired me not to do things with my set. So here are a few examples of what I found. So this one, I really like the floor and the colors that were used in the set. I like how the table is actually more downstage since a lot of action happens at the table. I think it's really important that it remains downstage. And also I like how the colors are more darker and dull because the mood is a dull mood, a dark mood. I really like the simplicity of it, and the porch in the background primarily is my favorite part of this set. I like how it, because there's a scene where Sonia's father goes out onto the porch to talk to her, so I think it's an important part of the set. This one, I really like the chairs around the table and how they're mismatched, and I think that the mismatched furniture is one of the primary, most important things about the set design because it represents their socioeconomic status, and since they're not wealthy, they're less likely to have furniture that matches 100%. So. This one, I really like the door in the back. I don't know if you can see it right here. There's a door that's in the back, and I really like that in place of an actual staircase because I think realistically it would save money and it would save time in building a whole staircase. And this one, I like the colors of the kitchen again because the colors are darker and it's more dull. And I like the kitchen because of the furniture and the sink, which I'll do a closer look at later. And so as for some of the sets I did not like, there were a lot more sets that inspired me not to do things than there were to do things. And the first one is this set, which you can see the characters upstairs, which I think is just pointless because you don't see any of the action that happens upstairs, and I think that the fact that you can see the actors upstairs takes away from the main action, which is going on downstairs. And this one, the table is more in the back, behind this couch, and I think that that's not a good idea either because like I said earlier, most of the action happens towards the front of the stage, so it's important to have the most primary source of action closer to the front so everyone can see and hear it better. This one has a lot of matching furniture in it, which I said earlier, the socioeconomic status is important to represent correctly, and this one with the matching furniture and all the matching everything else of the set, I just don't think it's a good idea personally. And this one, the scenery is extremely complex in the background, and I understand that like you're supposed to represent Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania at that time, but I think that this one kind of just went too over the top, and that it's just distracting and taking away from the entire scene as a whole. This one, the colors and the ambiance of it, I think it makes it feel too homey, which is something I'll talk about when I show you my set design. I think that it's better to keep it simple and less homey since it is a boarding house and not an actual house. It goes on to my interpretation of it that this concept of nomadicism, which relates to the theme of finding your own identity and people just passing through the boarding house. This one, the upstairs design, I just honestly don't understand this set at all or what they did or why they did it. They don't even have a table downstairs. This set was just bad in my opinion. And this one, the colors in the staircase, the colors like the stripes on the wall, I don't understand why they did that. And the staircase is a little too intricate for my taste. I think that money and time spent doing that could have been put to better use somewhere else. And also the table all the chairs are matching, and I don't really agree with that. And this one appears, this is way too modern for the time period. Like Joe Turner's Coming Barn is set in 1911. And this definitely looks like a middle-class modern household. So I don't understand where this came from, but this is definitely my least favorite of them all. And there were two pieces of furniture that I primarily really liked that I wanted to include in my set. And the first was the idea for the table and the different furniture, the different chairs around it, the rectangular wooden simple table in general. And then this one, the sink, it's very old-fashioned and old, and it just represents the time period well, and the kind of sink and other furniture pieces that they would have in the household at the time. So for my set design, things that I stressed were the mismatched furniture, because it represents their socioeconomic status. The wood stove in the sink in the kitchen primarily, because it represents the time period. Also the colors, I tried to stick with mostly dark wooden colors to represent not only the time period, but the mood of the play overall. And the furniture placement was very important. For example, the table being downstage in mine, the doors being closer to downstage, and the open dancing space when they dance over the Juba being downstage as well. So this is a picture of the set that I designed. And so as, like I said, the table is downstage, the wooden stove and the sink are back there. And I put the sink facing back with the window to the back because we don't actually ever see Bynum doing his ritual stuff. They just talk about it. So I didn't think that it was necessary to include a place for that scene. But I did make the porch and the backyard for Zoni and Ruben scene. And I wanted to do it all in one set instead of two different sets because it would just make it easier for actors and stage crew for transitions. Also, since I did a scene here, no matter where the audience is sitting, they would be able to see all sides of the set. So also I have the painting in the back of the woman in the dress. Obviously I couldn't find the exact painting, but that was just an example of something I could use. And I have my mismatched furniture in the darker colors that I selected. And this is just an overview of what I did. And